Well, unfortunately, the agreement as it stands overall is a kind of triple lock into the European institutions, and that's what we fear. And the backstop in particular is harder to leave than the European Union. I see it as a kind of torture chamber from which we only escape by permission of the EU, and one of the escape routes would be back into the European Union. So we really cannot vote for that backstop unless the legal text of the backstop is changed.
So a codicil, as you mentioned there, that was suggested by our Europe correspondent, that might be forthcoming. That wouldn't be enough. What specifically from Geoffrey Cox would convince you that the backstop could be tolerated?
So I don't think people have appreciated the effort that we put into to get all but 3 colleagues to vote for the Brady Amendment to say, let's replace the backstop with alternative arrangements. I mean, that is what we're looking for. The Prime Minister adopted that amendment. The Prime Minister whipped for that amendment, committed to it, and that is what we're looking for. It's very difficult to see how Geoffrey Cox could present a sort of lens through which you view the treaty, but the treaty hasn't changed, and yet that would be acceptable. But in the end, you know, I'm an aerospace and software engineer, and of course I follow these matters closely, but it will be characters like Sir William Cash, who really does understand constitutional law, who advise us and will be most influential.
What have you seen that gives you any confidence that alternative arrangements are anything more than a useful buzz phrase?
Well, I'm very clear that external parties brought forward concrete legal text which could have been tabled. We've spent days sitting together with ministers and officials going through in detail those alternative arrangements. No holes have been punched in our proposals, and we think it is practical and reasonable to take the backstop out as it's currently phrased and put in what could be a permanent set of arrangements which would work on WTO terms or under a free trade agreement. And we think it would be in everyone's interests to have what could be an indefinite solution to an indefinite problem.
Order! Order! Miss Order!